Okay, in today's video we're going to be looking at completing the square. So this is when we're trying to solve quadratics, and normally we have them in this ax squared plus bx plus c format, and it's when you can't factorize. So for example, we know that x squared plus 8x plus 12, we can factorize it as x plus 6 and x plus 2. But what happens when you can't factorize, for example, a question like this? You'll see it normally given in the form x plus a squared plus b. And this is when we use completing the square. So let's have a look. So like I said, when you can't factorize, normally you'll see them leaving a third form. That's a hint. And this is another hint for completing the square. So as I just described earlier, we can factorize this one like so. But what happens here? We can't, none of our factors of 6 add up to 8. So let's have a look at the question. X squared plus 8x plus 6 in the form x plus a all squared plus b, where a and b are constants. So what we do, we take what is known as our b value here, and you don't know what I mean when I say b, it's this format here. So we take our b value and we half it, and then we square the value, and then here we're going to find the difference, and I'll explain what that means in a moment. So x squared plus 8x plus 6. Here I've halved the 8 and get x plus 4 squared. Let's have a look at what this equals to over here. When we square something, we multiply it by itself, and that gives us x squared plus 4x plus 4x, and that equals. Well, what do we notice here? Well, we want to get it in this format here. And you can see that this, let me change the color, make it a bit nicer. We can see that our x squared plus 8x is the same here. But we have this 16 that we want to get rid of. So we've got this 16, but we want 6. Well, it's a simple case of we have 16, we want 6, so to go from 16 to 6, which is minus 10. And there we are. So now we have it in this x plus a squared plus b format. We can see here 4 and a equals 4, and well, plus b equals minus 10, so b equals minus 10. Let's look at another question. Using completing the square, solve x squared minus 6x plus 2. So first thing we do, we look at our b value. It's going to be negative 6 here, and we half it. X minus 3 all squared. Let's have a look what that equals. I like to write them over here away from the question, not to confuse you. And that's going to be x squared minus 6x plus 9. That's important. You notice when you sort of multiply these out, the first x squared and the x term are always the same. Okay, so we have x squared minus 6x plus 9. That equals what we see here. We have the 9, we wanted 2. So it's going to be a simple case of negative 7, because x squared minus 6x plus 9 minus 7 equals x squared plus 2. So there we are. And now we have to solve it. So here's our extra step. So I'm going to rewrite this now. X minus 3 squared minus 7 equals 0. Add 7 to both sides. Square root both sides. Now this is really important. Quadratics, you have two answers. So this is where we get our two answers from, plus or minus. That's really key because the square root of any number has to have a plus or minus answer. And what's really important as well, our value here cannot be negative. If it's a negative, you're not going to get any roots. X therefore equals 3 plus or minus 7. And we'll leave it there for now in our shared form. You have a calculator, you can go get your two answers. So X is going to equal 3 plus the square root of 7 or 3 minus the square root of 7. And there are our two answers.